Hi, welcome to Chateau Ski. Today we're going to talk about winter camping in minus 40 degrees. And we'll talk about what we learned from being in minus 40 degrees. We were in Alberta this winter, and with the wind chill, it went down to minus 50 degrees. So, we're camping in our Alliance 960 truck camper. And one of the reasons we picked this camper is because it has a really good furnace water heater. It's a combination, so you get two appliances for the weight of one. It's a Truma Combi, and it works great. And we'll do a little more about that. So it keeps us nice and warm, but there's certain things we learn about it, and that you have to be careful about. At minus 40, the propane has a lot of trouble getting out of the tank. It's more difficult. So what we need to do is to heat up the tank, and we haven't tried it yet, but we got a heat tape, and when you're in minus 40, you can't be boondocking because you need power. So Alberta has lots of campground. We're in 30 amps. So we'd be able to plug in. We have an outside plug close to the propane tanks and run the heat tape around the tank, and hopefully that will heat it up just enough so that the propane flows and then allows the furnace to keep the inside really nice and warm. Okay, what else? What are the problems we had with minus 40? When we were camping in Alberta, it went down to minus 30 when the wind chill, but we had power. The propane was flowing, everything was fine. The only problem we had is once we got out and we tried to dump our tanks, the gray tank valve was stuck and that was frozen. So the solution that we came in, we're going to try is we're going to put more insulation around that compartment, because it's just a very thin layer of the Reflectix. And we've added Reflectix to this camper pretty well everywhere. We put them in the windows, the hatches. We put an extra layer under the bed, and we put extra layers behind the seats, and that helped. But just one little layer in that compartment where the valves are for dumping the tanks, that's not enough. So we'll put in more insulation, and I think I'll get another heat tape or use the same one that we put around the valve, and that will heat up the valve so that hopefully when we get to the place to dump, we'll be able to dump without any problem. The short-term solution is we heat up a kettle of hot water, we pour the boiling water over the valve, and all of a sudden it frees up, and then we're allowed to dump. But that's not the greatest solution, but still I'm hoping that putting extra insulation will help. The other problem we've had is with the water pump. At minus 40, with the wind down to minus 50, our water pump froze up. Luckily, we weren't camping at the time. We were in somebody's driveway. We're plugged in only to 15 amps, but we still had electric heat, and the furnace was keeping everything warm, but under the sink it just wasn't quite enough. So again, we'll look at putting more insulation between the pump and the front wall. That it's right outside. It's in the trunk when the camper is actually inside the trunk. But at that time when the water pump froze, we had disembarked the camper, so it was facing the weather. So I think opening the door will help also, the door that leads to the compartment under the sink, because that will allow more heat to flow in that compartment, and maybe that will help as well to prevent it. But that's about it. That's basically the problems we had with camping in minus 40 degree weather, or having the camper in minus 40 degree weather, and making sure that nothing freezes. And you're wondering, well, why didn't you just winterize? Well, we're doing camping all winter, and we like to have our water and not just a big jug of water. So we're keeping our tanks, we're preventing them from freezing by keeping the heat on all the time while we're doing this camping trip this winter. Sometimes we're we're parked in somebody's yard and the truck is plugged in and we're enjoying the comfort of our friend's home. But other times we're camping on ourselves, and we're going mainly to campgrounds, doing a little bit of boondocking. But the campgrounds in Alberta are great, and we enjoy being plugged in and enjoying the beautiful parks that are out here. Anyway, that's it. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below in the comments. And thank you, and we'll talk to you later. That's it for now.